All right, I'm going to go ahead and start talking a little bit about the some of the specific principles. Like I said, there's a lot. And so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail really on any of these. So there's 10 general categories of principles. And here I'd like to focus on principle 1.2. And you can answer these questions in the chat or not. It's really more just food for thought. But how many of you have been part of an Agile transformation? Once, twice, maybe more? And how long did it take? And was it successful? And why do you think that was? And these are the types of questions many of us in the Agile space ask each other all the time. It was successful, but it was a process and not an event. 2 months to do and mostly successful. And some folks are just starting. Some are in year 3 and still working on it. I hear all kinds of things when asking these questions. Some people say it takes multiple efforts, like you try your transformation and then it stumbles, doesn't quite work, and then you try it again.
Lisa, can I ask a question on that?
Sure.
So my question that I was wondering about asking it for the last part, but it has to do with when you were doing your root cause analysis that led your group to collecting these additional thoughts. How much of the analysis went into trying to talk to the executives that say it didn't work, such as your Amazon example? Did you go deeper into an interview with some of those folks to understand how did their organization try to implement? I was the one that put on there that, I've seen some success in implementing, and for an entire organization to say it's Agile, haven't seen that come to fruition yet.
Yeah.
But in pockets, if you've got the right leadership that buys into the concept, and I mean actually adheres to it. So I don't know your friend at Amazon. My past life was in Six Sigma at GE.
Mm-hmm.
There are many people in leadership because they know they need to say they support something, but they don't really understand it, but they're not willing to acknowledge they don't understand it. So they don't really support it at the end of the day. And so the point on there, 1.3, change must come from the top. They might declare it because there are good reasons for it, but they don't really ever institute in the organization the capability for it to ever have a chance to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning
Mm-hmm.
that it's easy to say you're Agile, meaning easy to go get some coaches and say, you guys go make it happen. But when you have hundreds to thousands of people in an organization, that we as coaches can't get everybody to buy in on the concept by teaching them one at a time or in teams at a time. Because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times organizations won't invest in the training for people to even understand really what Agile is. So when you were talking about, the concepts of what's valued more, on the left and the right, my general experience has been there's a lot of people that have been around Agile and they say they know Agile. They've never been formally trained in it. So all they really know is the deviation that they've experienced, and it's not really the root. And I know there's supposed to be flexibility in there, but their root or foundation is so far from what a class would teach, they're nowhere close. And then they blame it on Agile when the organization never really set itself up to succeed. I just wondered, did you guys get into some of that deep root cause analysis with some of those folks that claim it, and how much and what specifically did they do to give it a chance?
Yeah, those are all really, really great questions. You brought up a lot of important points. So I'll address one thing first, which is to clarify that this was not a research project.
Okay.
So we collected a group of very experienced people from a wide range of organizations and countries even, who have had a variety of different types of roles in a lot of different organizations, government and corporate. We were all speaking from our personal experience. So this was not so much like a case study where we went out and analyzed companies and interviewed folks. That said, we had such an incredible breadth and depth of knowledge and experience among that assembled group that we pretty much, we touched on a lot of things, and some of them, each one of us, none of us could say we've experienced all of the things that we talked about,
Correct.
right?
That's why nobody
But
should ever say they completely understand Agile. It's too
right, so,
big for
but
any one person to grasp.
collectively, yeah, collectively, each of us, enough of us had experienced certain patterns consistently, and we had a lot of respect for each other's different areas of background and expertise. And so that was how we came up with our values and principles. So I just want to make that clear.
Okay.
I think another thing you said is really important, where you said that there are people who've been in Agile for a long time, or they've been doing Agile and they believe that they know and understand it, but they've never had formal training. Or maybe at one point they did have formal training, but it was like a 2-day CSM class like 5 years ago, and they don't really remember the details. And as we all know, Scrum does not equal Agile. And what we try to do with Agile 2 is make a distinction between, I guess the phrase that comes to mind is sort of pure Agile, like the values and principles and the ideas in the manifesto, and what the Agile community has made of it, or what the Agile, people call it different things, right? The Agile movement. Some people famously call it the Agile industrial complex, right? There's all kinds of different phrases around understanding of what Agile is as separate from the core philosophy of what Agile is. And if you are, say you're a project manager and you take a CSM class, your company says, we're doing Agile now, so we're going to send you to a 2-day CSM class. And when you come back now, you're just going to make Scrum teams, and now you're going to be Agile and it's all good.
Yeah,
And
that's the way it happens a lot of the times.
I
And
know
there's no chance for success there.
yeah, I mean, I've had people come to me in so much pain because they're like, our company we don't have coaches, we can't get further training. We thought we were good at project management, but now we're doing this Scrum thing and it's not really working, but they won't let us go back to the way we did it before. We don't know what to do now. And it's very painful for individuals and for companies. And so, leadership might blame their problems on Agile, but then, coaches understandably are frustrated with leadership. Like you said, it's not plug and play. You don't just go, go work with those people down there and make them Agile and everything will be great and we'll have better software faster and I'll make more money, right? It's just not that simple. It's more, that's why we use the word transformation, right? Because we're talking about a fundamental shift in the way that people think.